Happy Wednesday, everybody. Max here with your fix of gaming news. Coming up, a data leak has revealed what the Pokémon Company has planned for the next 5 years. Microsoft gives us a glimpse inside the room where next-gen hardware is currently being developed, and Battlefield boss Vince Zampella says EA only has itself to blame for the success of Call of Duty. Let's get into it. Pokémon Legends ZA will officially be out everywhere tomorrow, and if it's not your cup of Sinus tea, rest assured that Game Freak and the Pokémon Company have plenty more top-secret Pokémon projects in development. However, they're not quite as top-secret as they used to be, because hackers have been dumping stolen data online in what's being referred to as the Teraleak, which honestly sounds kind of like a far-fetched evolution. The cache of information includes development plans, concept art, and early screenshots for a variety of unannounced projects, with one of the big ones being next year's mainline entries in the series, which would kick off the 10th generation of Pokémon and coincide with the franchise's 30th anniversary. Details are circulating online that include the unannounced names of these next installments, some early animation tests, in-engine footage, and several planned gameplay ideas. Beyond that, there's information relating to a separate Pokémon MMO project, as well as concept art for a third Pokémon Legends spin-off, and data that suggests that Pokémon's 11th generation will begin at the start of the next decade in the far-off year of 2030, which actually isn't that far off now. So if you're the kind of person who likes to peek at your Christmas presents a little bit early, go nuts! The Meowth is out of the bag about what Game Freak has planned for the next half-decade. That said, anybody who would rather be surprised, consider yourself warned and tread carefully online. We've seen similar data breaches for other highly anticipated games like Grand Theft Auto 6 and Insomniac's Wolverine, and as exciting as it might be to get a sneak peek behind the curtain, it's also the worst way for a game to be revealed, and please remember that anything you see that hasn't officially been announced is subject to change, so take it with a grain of salt. Moving on, Xbox fans also got a peek at what's going on behind the scenes at Microsoft, though considering it was part of a segment on Good Morning America, I don't think it revealed anything that Microsoft wasn't ready to reveal themselves. The segment was primarily to promote the newly launched Xbox ROG Ally X handheld gaming PC, which also launches tomorrow. Xbox President Sarah Bond took ABC News reporter Becky Worley into the hallowed Building 87, which is where Microsoft is, quote, designing, prototyping, and testing for the next generation of Xbox. Aside from stuff you'd usually find in an office, like desks and monitors, and also a big 3D printer used for rapid prototyping, there isn't a whole lot to see. However, there was one odd detail that jumped out at me. There's a few sets of airplane seats, which Bond and Worley briefly sat in to test out the ROG Ally X. This is obviously a great way to test out how it feels to play a portable device for long periods of time on a flight without actually having to take brand new top secret hardware prototypes out in public or through TSA security, but I was under the impression that Asus handled the hardware side of the Ally X. So could this hint that Microsoft's next-gen plans include a hybrid model meant to be taken on the go, or is it just quirky office decor? Get a load of that. They got airplane seats in a building instead of on an airplane. Xbox has alluded to plans for a handheld, but since then we've heard rumors that those were backburnered in favor of third-party hardware. But of course, the Switch 2 is the fastest-selling console in the US ever, and we've heard some rumblings that Sony might have plans for a hybrid portable console as part of or in addition to the PlayStation 6 console whenever that comes out. So maybe Xbox is following suit, making a little portable Xbox you can play in an airplane seat. Or maybe they just got airplane seats in their office because they're weird. I don't know. What do you think? Sound off in the comments. And finally, speaking of sounding off, Call of Duty co-creator Vince Zampella offered some insight into how his current employer, EA, was inadvertently responsible for the creation of Activision's best-selling shooter series. Speaking to GQ, he stated, quote, "The only reason that Call of Duty exists is because EA were dicks." Considering that Zampella is currently employed by EA to oversee the Battlefield franchise, this is a little bit cheeky, but Zampella has more than earned the right to say it. Zampella's first breakout project was Medal of Honor Allied Assault, which was published by EA and was, at that point, part of their big flagship shooter series. Shortly thereafter, Zampella co-founded his own studio, Infinity Ward, which planned to continue working on Medal of Honor games. However, and here's the dick move, EA decided to continue the series in-house, at which point Zampella had to go hat in hand to EA's main competition, Activision, who published Infinity Ward's so-called Medal of Honor killer, which turned out to be Call of Duty, and it actually did kill Medal of Honor. Zampella shipped several Call of Duty games, but eventually had a falling out with Activision and founded a new studio, Respawn Entertainment. Respawn, of course, has given us Titanfall, Apex Legends, and the Star Wars Jedi games. They were acquired by EA in 2017, and Zampella has since gone on to oversee the entire Battlefield franchise, which is the main competition to the franchise that he helped create because EA screwed him over 20-something years ago. So yeah, I think he's earned the right to talk a little smack about his employer. That is your fix for Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. Before we go, I wanted to take a second to shout out what is going on over at IGN's sister site, Humble. This month, Humble Choice subscribers can score Atomic Heart, V Rising, System Shock, Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town, Cryptmaster, Pharaoh: A New Era, Hotel Renovator, and Caravan Sandwich, and proceeds go to WDC. That's a whale and dolphin conservation charity which raises money to protect these awesome creatures in a variety of ways, from campaigns and lobbying to field research and rescue. Head to humble.com today and score some great games and support some great causes in the process. Now that you're caught up on the news, go check out all the cool stuff that came out of IGN FanFest. We got a bunch of awesome trailers, gameplay reveals, and interviews, and of course, for all of your gaming news any day of the week, keep it right here on IGN.